Origins of Communitarianism, November 2nd, 2020, by the Free People Foundation. According to many, including Israeli-American sociologist Amitai Etzioni, who is considered the founder of the modern communitarian movement, the term communitarian was coined in 1841 by John Goodwin Barnby, who used it to refer to this utopian socialists. These are socialist extremists or communists who oppose industrial capitalism, an economic system in which trade, industry, and capital are privately controlled and operated on a for-profit basis. In this perspective, communitarians believe that trade, industry, capital in societies must be controlled and operated by governments and their institutions, including supranational entities such as the European Union and the United Nations. According to Etzioni, quote, the most advanced experiment in building a supranational community is the European Union, the EU. What Etzioni doesn't mention, though, is the fact that the EU was established without explicit consent of the people, whose countries are now EU member states. The governments of these states have also given up their national currency without the explicit consent of the people. Clearly, communitarianism is a completely undemocratic socio-political system and form of government. Since at least the 1980s, communitarian is used to describe authoritarian regimes and societies, such as those in China and North Korea. Governments in such societies view citizens as interchangeable cells who allegedly must find meaning in their contributions to the government and society rather than living as free individuals. Modern communitarianism. The modern communitarian paradigm demands a limiting of individual rights such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, freedom of association, medical rights, and the rights to have property and consume freely. Advocates of modern communitarianism believe that all commercial advertising, for instance, is toxic, which is why, according to them, only government-approved communication must be allowed in the public domain. Since in a communitarian society, trade, industry, and capital are controlled by government, products and services can only be promoted through government-approved commercial advertisements. During his presidency, Barack Obama revealed countless times his support for modern communitarian movement's doctrine. Obama said on several occasions that business owners, for instance, don't build their own companies. According to Obama, the community and the government help business owners build their companies, further implying that as a business owner, you don't really fully own your own company. It's co-owned by everyone. Recently, Black Lives Matter tried to hide the community's communitarian identity as the movement gained popularity around the world. September 18, 2020, Black Lives Matter, BLM, removed What We Believe page from their website. That page originally stated, aside from many other things, emphasize added, quote, every day we recommit to healing ourselves and each other and to co-creating alongside comrades, allies, and a family, a culture where each person feels seen, heard, and supported. And, quote, we practice empathy. We engage comrades with the intent to learn and connect with their contexts. Where the BLM website used to be stuffed with the communist words comrade and comrades, Now only one page is left where these words are used. This change may seem of little of no importance to those who don't understand this transition, but it is of great importance in a time where also BLM joins the World Economic Forum's Great Reset and Communitarian movement. Quote, "We are self-reflexive and do the work required to dismantle cisgender privilege," unquote. The same BLM page used to state, this is in reference to the Communitarian movement's agenda to marginalize male and female humans in exchange for a world where gender is reduced to a government-approved definition that can change at any given time. Another cornerstone of the modern Communitarian movement's doctrine is the literal destruction of the nuclear family unit, a mother, a father, and one or more children. Communitarians believe that all children belong to society as a whole, not just to parents, who are naturally supposed to be responsible for their own children. This was reflected on the same deleted BLM page. Quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and, quote, villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children." It further stated, "We cultivate an intergenerational and communal network free from ageism. We believe that all people, regardless of age, show up with the capacity to lead and learn." This was in reference to children, such as Greta Thunberg, whose public identities are manufactured by the Communitarian movement, including the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. Communitarianism, according to Klaus Schwab, founder of the World Economic Forum and author of the Great Reset Agenda, is violently being adopted by governments around the world. In COVID-19, the Great Reset, Schwab dreams and theorizes about modern communitarianism's emergence during the so-called COVID-19 pandemic, albeit also due to the World Economic Forum's failed by design COVID-19 action platform. Quote, "Everywhere, simple acts of kindness, generosity, and altruism appear to be becoming the norm. In terms of what we value, the notions of cooperation, communitarian ideas, the sacrifice of self-interest for the common good, and caring came to the fore. Conversely, manifestations of individual power, popularity, and prestige were frowned upon." Concretely, the book COVID-19, The Great Reset, is one of the manifestos of the modern communitarian movement, now also headed by Klaus Schwab. The book was written for corruptible and gullible government officials and greedy yet submissive and gullible company executives. In addressing such government officials, Schwab uses the book to manipulate them into accepting and adopting the new communitarian doctrine to be implemented by national governments. Schwab wants politicians to believe that only government-approved companies, those that submit to the communitarian cult, should be allowed to operate under any and all circumstances following communitarian government dictates that are based on COVID-19 lies. In addressing such company executives, Schwab uses the book to instill fear for not obeying communitarian government dictates by providing unrealistic theories and projections when the actual truth about the so-called pandemic is taken into account for the world and local economies in Schwab's new normal. 4. The Fourth Industrial Revolution Society. According to Schwab, new normal businesses and corporations should thrive while all the rest go out of business. And it is the obligation of governments to make this happen. The book was not written for individual citizens, their families, and friends. This is further confirmed by the by the fact that national and local governments and the mainstream news media have yet to properly inform their citizens and audiences about the World Economic Forum's COVID-19 Action Platform, its Great Reset Agenda, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and the modern communitarian movement generally headed from now on by Amitai Etzioni and Klaus Schwab. Global Communitarianism in 2030. To an uninformed citizen, it may be as a surprise that the World Economic Forum's Great Reset and Fourth Industrial Revolution agendas are supposed to be the framework for communitarian economic policies on a global scale, dictated by unelected individuals such as Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates, something we already see happening right now as governments are manipulated into implementing digital currencies and digital IDs and are manipulated into buying unsafe COVID and other vaccines from pharmaceutical companies that only have billions of dollars and euros in profit in mind. As the World Economic Forum is supposed to decide undemocratically the economic aspect of the new normal, communitarian society by 2030, the United Nations is supposed to decide the political aspect of the 2030 communitarian society. It is not by sheer coincidence that the UN's Agenda 2030, Sustainable Development Goals or Global Goals, perfectly aligns with the World Economic Forum's Great Reset and Fourth Industrial Revolution agendas. This was planned all along, long before the World Health Organization declared the global pandemic on March 11, 2020, the very same day the World Economic Forum officially launched its Great Reset agenda through its preposterous COVID-19 action plan. This should not be new information for anyone alive today. To achieve a more communitarian political landscape worldwide, Etzioni suggests that we create an enhanced United Nations. What that specifically means, according to him, he doesn't say, but it isn't hard to figure out that when one knows what communitarianism stands for. In a nutshell, it would mean that by 2030 the UN would be given more undemocratic power over national and global political policies that would automatically be aligned with the World Economic Forum's undemocratic power over trade, industry, and capital, and that would also, of course, be aligned with the Bank for International Settlements, its world finance and banking dictatorship. The Chinese government's Communitarian Belt and Road Initiative. Although the Chinese Communist Party's BRI is not set to be completed by 2030, it does cooperate and align itself with UN's 2030 agenda to make the BRIs more green, allegedly. In 2013, President Xi Jinping proposed in Kazakhstan and Indonesia to build the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, or the Belt and Road Initiative. Since then, it has become clear that the BRI will stretch from China to Canada, South Africa, Southeast Asia, Australia, and Europe, including the UK, completely isolating the U.S. and eventually giving the Israeli government the long-awaited opportunity to push through its new bunting clover leaf project that aims to control the global cybersecurity, digital health, fintech, Industry 4.0, and agri-food tech industries. At the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, May 2017, President Xi Jinping said, "We should pursue the new vision of green development and a way of life and work that is green, low carbon, circular, and sustainable. Efforts should be made to strengthen cooperation in ecological and environmental protection and promote ecological civilization so as to realize the goals set by 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development." Without a doubt, Schwab and Etzioni envy the Chinese Communist Party for its advanced communitarian dictatorship, which China is today. Everyone is a witness to the brutality, tyranny, and thought policing by the Chinese government since its Wuhan lab became the center of the world's attention in 2019. With the EU being most advanced supranational communitarian entity, according to Etzioni, we will definitely start to see soon enough news articles and broadcasts that pop up saying that China is opening up its economy and political decision-making to the rest of the world. Once you see that happening, you will know for sure that the communitarian mega-block Eurasia is being formed in an attempt to accomplish the ultimate power grab by new normal tyrants and their extremist beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon apparatchiks. Thank you for listening. I hope this is useful in you determining what is going on. And now that we do know that China has opened up, and this was written November 2020, you can see that our investigative journalist, Koen Jacobs, did a great job. Thank you for watching.